Should I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you be watching us from today? We want to say welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Leslie Montgomery. This is LKN Kingdom Living with Leslie's Lessons Learned. And today we have the marvelous Leslie with us. I can't even say
Bournes.
Barnes. I don't know where the barrel came from. Sorry about that, and she's going to give us some amazing tips to get things in order. As I was sitting down thinking, and I was just saying, what if? What
Mm-hmm.
does your what if look like?
Mm.
If something happened and you were not able to get to your important papers and you had to send someone to look for them, what would that be like? So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And we're just so happy that you're here with us, and pay me no mind as I'm trying to send this link out. But welcome, Leslie. Welcome. So happy that you're here, taking time out of your busy schedule and coming with us today. I know it's holiday seasons for a lot of people, and there's a lot of hustle and bustle going on because it's the last minute. It's that
Mm-hmm.
countdown. People are
Yeah.
counting down, getting themselves together. And even though it's Monday, the Christmas holiday, it seems like it's this weekend that it's this weekend. But the interesting thing about it, Monday will be here and Monday will be gone, and everybody go right back to what they've been doing. So, Leslie, if you could just take a moment and just give us some tips on how to organize ourselves. Now, what do we mean by organize ourselves? What does that look like? When I think about organizing ourselves, we like to organize our home. We like to, winter comes in, we get rid of the summer stuff, we pack it away and we get all our winter stuff out. And when the winter's over, we pack that away and we get our summer stuff out. That type of stuff, spring clean, house spring cleaning. We know how to have all that stuff and do all that type of stuff. But it's the stuff that is important, especially in this day and age, any day and age, that we have our um, paperwork in order. Now, you
Yes.
were here a couple of months ago, and I didn't do mine yet. I didn't do mine yet. I'm sorry, but I'm here. And as we go forth today, give us some tips on what that would really look like. Easy tips, something
Easy.
that we can do easy.
Yes.
A lot of people are looking forward to January 1st.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people, they went out and got their black eyed peas, they got their greens, they got everything they need to prepare. They're gonna have their clothes washed because I remember you gotta have your clothes washed, you gotta have your greens, you gotta have your black eyed peas. You have to have all these things. The greens for the money. I forgot what the black eyed peas is for. But if your house ain't clean, your house ain't gonna be clean all year long. They say. So this is a part of our housekeeping,
Yes.
getting
Yes.
our papers in order and having them set so that if that what if happens, everything will be easy for whoever has to maintain that, whoever has to have the authority to do things for you. And that's another thing that very well needs to be um, done, because you never know what might happen. And when I think about that, a lot of times we think because of our age, we got time. We shouldn't wait to the last minute for these type of things. So just tell us some tips that we can use that would be very helpful. Don't be offended, because whatever tip you give us is helpful. But I
Okay.
thank you for being here today. You want to tell them a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Well, Leslie, first, from Leslie to Leslie,
Leslie
my
to
home to your home. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much for allowing me to be in this space with you. And just congratulations on all you're doing as
Leslie.
you're bringing so much important information, both spiritually, mentally, to so many as during Leslie's lessons learned. So I commend you and hats off to all the hard work you're doing. And
Thank you.
so I again, my name is Leslie Bournes, and it's like the word born, as you're born, B-O-R, but it's Bournes, Bournes. Um, and I, a couple of years ago, started really delving into getting organized in my house, and I'm still doing that. And it's organization from a point of being the CEO of your house, meaning that, like you said, we spend time organizing our clothes and dishes and how we want things, but are we organizing the administrative and management side of our household?
Excuse me, the administration. I'm so sorry. I wasn't so professional when I talked about it. But go ahead.
No, no, you're
I
fine. You're
want you
fine.
to
You
say
know,
that one more time for me.
so, from the management and administrative side of your household, a business has a CEO. They're responsible for budgets, making sure that things happen at certain times. They hire a staff. Well, in our household, we I'm learning, and I have been learning, that we need to treat our house just like a business, our household, whether that means you're single, an individual, living in an apartment, living in a home, um, whatever the case may be. There are certain things that we need to have in order. It could be your health insurance, it could be knowing your bank account information, your car insurance, homeowners insurance. If you are managing a household and you've purchased it, then where is your deeds? What do you have in order, so that if anything, if you need to get to something, you know where that information is. I just talked to my husband last week. I said, we need to talk to our insurance person to make sure our homeowners insurance has the
Mm.
proper coverage, because we had an incident a year ago where a fire was next door. So we've got to make sure, okay, thankfully, no one was hurt, but we need to now look at our homeowners insurance again to make sure that we have the coverage. So, what I do is support and walk alongside clients to help them look at what goals they want to meet as far as their household is concerned, whether it's helping a parent or a loved one, a caregiver, get services, whether it's looking at how am I handling my business affairs versus my children's, putting those things in order. And coming from an aspect that the Lord gives us wisdom, and He wants us to be good stewards of what we have. So we need to move forward, and we need to take action on those things that are important. As you said, we never want to be in a situation where something, uh, your parent, something happens to them and you don't know where their information is. So you want to try to talk and discuss those things and be able to have things in order so you're not looking for them. So some of the tips that you were talking about and asking about, it's tax season coming up soon. Why not start organizing your tax information ahead of time? You might not have those W-2s in hand, but most of the time it's pretty much the same information that you'll need. You're going to need the W-2 for either work or retirement. I mean, you're going to need those. It's a 1099 if you're self employed. There are certain things that you're going to need. So, why not develop a folder? Start sticking information in there that you get during the year and not wait until the last minute. You could be as organized as completing a spreadsheet to track that information so that it's easier when tax time comes. Now, I too am a work in progress. So I am not saying that I have everything in order. All I'm saying is to let's move and become more organized, be able to put our hands on information so that we don't have to, at the last minute, have to look for something.
So
Um,
before you go any further, there's two
mhm,
things that you mentioned. One, if we can go back to the
mhm.
house situation, and one thing is to make sure. A lot of people don't even realize that the insurance that they've changed so things so much. But
Mm-hmm.
if if something happens to you, that it'll transfer over to your children, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
then with it
Life
depends on
insurance.
what type of insurance you have, because they have the insurance where once if you pass away, your house is paid and your
Mm-hmm.
children automatically own it. But there's so many. It's very important, like you said, because there's so many nits, um, nicks and crannies in there
Mm-hmm.
that if you're not sure, you'll miss something along the way. And then if something happens to you, and then the children are stuck holding the bag because the type of insurance you have is not the correct insurance.
Correct.
Now, I used to be an insurance agent. Um, I'm not. Nobody take this wrong. I'm not an insurance person fan,
Mm-hmm.
but it's
Yep.
something you have to have.
Yep.
So if you're going to have it, make sure you have the best that you can have, be it life insurance, life insurance. Don't walk around here saying that they can just have a GoFundMe account
No.
if
Yeah.
something happened to me.
Mm-mm.
Get some life insurance. Protect yourself, protect your family. Because now, when my mama died, once she died, everything went with her. Now, if you die, they're looking for the
Yeah.
next kin and family to take over and
Mm-hmm.
be responsible for whatever you had. So make sure that you have the right type of insurance. Make sure that one of the things that, and I didn't mean to get on here and talk,
No,
but
that,
one of the things that with the insurance that I'm finding out and that I found out later, uh, that when you have life insurance, especially an
mm-hmm.
older person needs to have whole life. Why do I say that? Because as long as you live, you have it. Where the term insurance is great for young people that are willing to do what they need to do to stack up the money for their life insurance policy, so
Yeah.
that if something happened to them, they have the money. And the good part about that is that money you save, the children can use it whatever way they want to use it. Not saying that they can't with the life insurance, but it's it's more of a freedom
Mm-hmm.
when you have it and it's already in an account and it's set aside, and that's just free, clear money. And that's a whole nother thing. We can get into
Right.
that,
That's
but
a
we
whole
won't
nother.
get into that because
Yeah.
you could talk about the free money where they don't have any taxes and all that. And that's not what
Yes.
we're really here to talk about. But I was thinking about that when you were talking about making sure you have things in order. Make sure that your homeowner's insurance protects you and your family if there is a what if.
Yes.
If there
Yes.
is a what if.
And I will put a disclaimer. I'm not an attorney. I'm not an insurance guru, but what I do say is to do the research. There's so much information out. You spoke of insurance that will pay the house off. That is great. That's wonderful for those that decide to get that insurance. But there's still a deed on that house. Is that deed in only your
Your
name
name.
and not your
That's a whole
children's
nother
name?
thing. Yeah.
Does that mean that you do you have you put documentation? Has the deed included whoever your family members are? Or have you put it in a trust to protect the property? So there that gets very technical, and
It
that's when you need
does.
attorneys and you need those experts or paralegals that can walk you through that process. But that's part of making sure your household is in order, because we have property and we lose it once someone passes because we don't know what to do, or you have to go through probate. So,
Probate.
yeah, probate, which is a whole
That's an animal all by
that's an
itself.
animal all by itself. So first, I want to say hello to everybody that's joined.
Yes.
Let's see, Renee,
Renee and Alfreda and Ashley.
Ashley. So thank you all so much for joining. But we just have to keep in mind, again, starting from a simplistic level, what is it that you have that you need to make sure you know where it is? Do you, your bank account information, your again, your insurance. Um, who knows where this information is? Your health insurance. Are you
Mhm.
on certain medications? If you have an allergic reaction, do your family members know that you need certain medications? At a very simplistic level, your immediate family, you want to be able to have someone get to that information if they need to. Where do you maintain it? Do you keep it in a file cabinet? There's an AARP document that lists out things that you can gather together, so that it's in one place. Doctors' names, um, who your insurance companies are, you put down your insurance information, you put down your checking account information, so that if something happens, one, you might need to pull it. You might get ready to say you want to refinance and you got to pull some documents. Well, instead of having to look around for it, it can be kind of succinctly in one place that is easy for you, whether that's electronic, whether that's in a file cabinet, so that you can get to that. And then you have some peace of mind that you have that information in one place. It takes time to get it together, but the idea of moving forward to put that paperwork in order will give you peace of mind. And you can say, hey, um, for instance, I keep all of my, we've got all kinds of websites we have to get onto. We need passwords. We need
Those passwords.
the passwords, and what is your ID, your user ID. So I keep that in a little notebook now. My husband knows where it is, my daughter knows where it is. Some things I keep on my phone that I know I get to regularly, because we're in an age now, we have to maintain this. We have to change passwords. If you have that in one location, it's easier for you to function.
Right.
Um, because it can be nerve wracking. I had a coworker that just did a Excel spreadsheet. He would just keep everything, you know, he was he did it where he had all the passwords, but you don't have to go that far.
Yeah,
Um,
but you know what, mentioning that, that's one of the things I look at. I said, should I get rid of it or should I keep it,
yep, yep.
And, and you
You never
know,
know.
yeah, but once it's changed, you really don't need it.
No,
But yeah,
yeah.
and the thing about you were just talking about putting things in order.
Mm-hmm,
And one of the things is even with being a senior and already having it that my daughters would be in charge if something happens to
mm-hmm.
me. And it's very important for us to do those type of things as well, and don't wait until, oh, I still have time. No, we don't know what time is what time.
No.
You don't know what if it's when it's going to happen. So I do want to take a moment and, as you said, thank everybody for those that are here, and ask you to take a moment and hit the like sign, hit the subscribe button to know when we go live, and also share. This is valuable information. And one of the things Leslie was saying was that you need a professional. I promise you, she can help you. She can help you. She has a lot of information, and she's very wise with what she have. And we put her link in the description box. If you need someone to just give you some advice, help you get through those moments, or help you understand. A lot of people don't understand what that really looks like, what that means to have all your papers in one place, or
Mm-hmm.
don't have them scattered all over. Well, they're all here. I got them over here. I got them over here. And then you got to run over here, run over there, and try to get them when you can have them in one place. And one of the things you talked about was putting it electronically on.
On your computer. You have devices now where you can put your information on a little disk, so it doesn't have to be on your computer. Um, your health card. your IDs, your social security card, all of those things, if you can put those in singular location and make a scan it to make a copy in case something happens, then you'll have that. Um, People that have businesses. For my husband, he has a plumbing business, so he wanted to. I like paper and he likes paper. I'm trying to reduce the paper that I use. It's working.
Look,
Um,
I
he
hear you.
wanted business insurance documents printed out, and so I maintain in a binder his licenses. I document when we renew them. That's also documented because that's also part of
Very
taxes.
important.
And when
Yeah.
you pay that license, that's a business expense. So I know, when
Mm.
those are expire. Um, and then he has that readily available if he's getting ready to go on a certain type of job and they need to know that he's insured and that he has his certifications, then I can provide that very quickly. Um, if you own multiple properties, you want to have those deeds, you want to have the title insurance if you paid title insurance, because if you need to refinance or you need to do another transaction, you shouldn't have to pay your title insurance again. You show proof that you had title insurance, that you have a clean title, and you have that document readily available. If you're doing remodeling on your home, you have the original plat. You don't have to go to the county to get that plat. You can take that plat to the county and say, here are my documents to do the renovation, and um, an architect or someone can draw that renovation, but you don't have to go, oh, I need to apply for the plat. Have that at hand. So those are,
Mm.
I mean, that's, just some of the things, but basic information. Again, we need to know where our bank accounts are. We need to know password information. We need to be able to, our insurance information, our insurance card numbers, our doctor's information, so that you can have that readily available. If I get sick, then to my daughter or my son or my husband, here's my information. It's located here. Pull that up. Um, we also talk about caregivers. If you are a caregiver for someone, then you need to have documentation with their particular doctor that says you have the authority to, they've signed off, your parent or aunt, uncle, whomever you're taking care of, that you can assist in making medical decisions for them when they are not able to do so, or working alongside them. And that's becoming more and more prevalent because people are needing more assistance, living longer, and they need someone to go to the doctors with them. They need a caregiver because they're not able to do certain things. So that you would talk about your not only having that medical document signed off on, but a power of attorney if you have to handle
Power of
if
attorney.
you have to handle their affairs, paying their bills. Again, you might have to organize their paperwork for them if they have not. If you're the caregiver, that person may not have their information organized, and you would have to take time to get that organized so that it assists you in assisting them.
So one of the other things is also you're talking about um, power of attorney. It's different now. Power of attorney after the person passed away was still good enough, but it's
No,
not anymore.
no longer.
And that's something also that people need to understand and
Mhm.
recognize that's only while they're living.
Yes,
If
it is
they
only while
pass,
they're living, and
mhm.
certain jurisdictions there are certain restrictions. So you want to make sure you know that, and then to the next level, what is in place in case that person passes? If you are their power of attorney, what else has been set up? Because as a power of attorney, you could assist them in a setting up how they want their last
Test
I want to say
will
burial,
testament
or their what their last
will
wishes,
yeah.
um, in a number of areas for them individually, and as well as what they have if they want to share those with family members. So it gets very sensitive. Um, I recently found out. that um, a loved one's husband passed, and they were having to contact the utility company because the husband's name was on the utility company utilities, but hers wasn't. And so there had to be some action for them to even have the bill changed over. So it gets very legal. You have so many things that are happening now, and because of 9/11 and what has happened, and people taking other people's assets when they should not have, there are restrictions. There are more and more restrictions. So the best thing is to get as much in order as possible, so that you are able to assist your loved ones can be assisted. You can be assisted when things happen. So I've just shared a couple of things. It's important that we manage our household just like you want, as you see a business managed. We will take time to make sure we pay X number of dollars for a purse, or, people, how I dress, how I look. But what are we doing to protect ourselves as individuals, our families? Um, People have lost so much real estate over time because that was the last thing that someone thought of. And then people are fighting against it. And you don't want that. We want to have do it in love, just really as a family.
Mm.
That's really important. And I think for me, just I've had to go through probate and deal with some things, assist a number of family members, and it's doable. You can do it. You just have, the heart to serve and be able to be in a position so that they can have help. Some people don't know what to do. Some people are very good at it. I've known other people that have planned everything out and know exactly what they want, and you clap for those because
They're
it
few and far apart.
yeah, it makes there it is. It makes life easier, but you just want to take care of what you have. You've worked for it. You've established certain things, and it needs to be at the forefront of what we do as far as managing our household. And that could be even setting up um, regular maintenance on your house. When your how often your boiler needs to be serviced, or your air conditioner. Those are part of the things that that we need to manage. And it's getting in a routine. It's getting in, putting those things up front, um, so that you're in a better position.
You know what's funny about that? Hey, Katrina, Renee,
Hey,
thank you so
Katrina.
much. Renee said, keep good records. That's for
Yes,
sure.
that
That's
is
for sure.
correct.
And what? Oh, you just said something I wanted to speak on. I forgot what it was now. So hopefully we'll come
It'll
back
come
to
back to you.
that.
It'll come back to you. I know
But
I had talked about the real ID. If you haven't already gotten your
um,
real ID in 2025, I think across the country
you
it's
have to
required.
have it right.
And what that means is if your current license doesn't say, or you have a non-driver's license that doesn't show real ID, it has um, certain information, so it's less vulnerable for fraud. The government, the federal government, is forcing it across the United States.
Right.
And this was due to 9/11. That's also affects bank accounts now. You have certain things you have to do with bank accounts. You can't just open a bank account without showing additional documentation than what we used 2 years ago. Um,
Really.
yeah, yeah. So there's a lot of things that the government puts in place. So if they're putting things in place, we need to put things in place for our own
That's
household.
right. And we
Um,
need to pay attention, right?
yeah, when you go to work, when you start a new job, they tell you to fill out your health insurance. What kind of health insurance do you want? What type of 401k are you signing up for? You need to remember that information. You just don't sign those documents and then say, oh, well, I'm putting into the 401k. I don't know how much I'm earning. Make sure you know what it is.
I
That's
know.
an asset.
Yeah.
That's an
Yeah.
asset for you, right? You don't
Yeah.
want to lose, not think about the asset. You're not saying you have to take the asset, but know what's happening with it.
Yeah.
Monitor it. Become educated in it. Just don't say, oh, yeah, I signed all these papers, but I don't know what they were. I signed life insurance. I think I have it. Take time to find out what it is, um, because that will save you time and money in the long run. It may be a great benefit you're putting into this 401k or whatever the retirement plan is, but keep up with it. Know what's happening. You get a statement. You don't have to keep all the statements. You might keep the last statement you received. You see what the levels are, whether they're increasing or decreasing. But that's an important document to maintain.
Yeah. And they have people that will assist you and help
Yes,
you.
yes,
You
they
know,
have
you don't
people
try
who.
to figure it out on your own. They have
Mhm.
people that assist you and help you. I know what it was when you were talking about having things for like appliances and knowing when you've gotten. A lot of times, when people get homes, they just think that's the end of it.
No.
You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
then something happens, and they're like, "Wait a minute, I bought this house," and well, things do change and things do break, and that we, to weather the storm is to try to put aside so that you'll be able to fix those things, because it's not just buying a house, it's maintaining the house, which is just as important. So if you had to give us a list of a few things off the top of your head that needs to be done, what would you say they were?
I would say know where you're be able to put your hands on your birth certificate, your social security card, your even I even if you've lost a loved one, the death certificates of those loved ones, because that's kind of legacy and history of your family. It's not just, oh, this person died, but you actually have documentation that shows who their parents were, when they were born. Um, I would say for your bank account information, have that, uh, your account numbers, your access to your pins and your passwords, have that in a set location. Um, Yearly statements. Social Security sends out a statement every year. If you're still working, you at least know what that last statement is. Have you paid into all your quarters for Social Security? Do you want to maintain that information? As far as household information, your life insurance, health insurance, who are your doctors? Um, Make a list of your prescriptions. A lot of times we go to the doctor and they will ask you, what prescriptions are you on? Make a list. Make sure you keep up with that list. And then that helps you evaluate when talking to your physician. Well, is this working or is this not working? But be aware of that. Um, Tax records. You always need to maintain your tax records. I think for 7 years. And again, it's tax time now. So start, if you haven't already, putting together things that you need to that you have to turn into your tax person, because some of it is routine every year. It's not changing, so you don't have to kind of scrounge around. What do I need? That some of that information you need it every year. Your car insurance,
Yeah, yeah.
and I would just say,
Registration,
yeah,
all but yeah.
yeah, and for your household or your apartment, um, if you have a lease, you need to know where your lease is. Make sure you read it. Um, your home, what insurance do you have for your home insurance? Your car, the title. Do you know where the title is to the car? Um, Sometimes we get ready to sell the car, we can't find the title, we have to go down to the the motor vehicles to get it. That's an important document to maintain. When you've paid that car off, when you've paid that loan off, um, keep that document. Again, I say you can either scan information or you can make a hard copy. But that way you have proof of those things. And that, after time, if it's not needed, then you can discard it. But initially know where that is.
Yeah.
And, what are your routines for your home? How often do you need your heater looked at? You know what type it is. Is there a warranty on it?
Maintenance, huh?
Yeah. How long is that warranty? So that if something happens within 4 years and you have a 6-year warranty, can you go to that warranty and then go to that particular distributor of that equipment to get service?
And register your
Right.
warranties when
Yeah.
you
A lot of times you can register your warranties right online.
online
So that means you
register
need the
them.
receipt of when you purchased it, scan it with the registration, email it in, and then that will save you time.
Yeah,
But you don't, there's some appliances you don't need the
right.
insurance. They just want you to buy insurance. And you talked about
That's
insurance.
right. We won't talk
Mhm.
about that.
You talked about it. But again, it's just kind of take a survey of what you think you need for your family. As moms, a lot of times we're the one responsible for records. So, do we have all our kids' birth certificates? Do we have their social security cards? Do we have their fingerprints when they were young in case something happens? Do we have um, uh, the health records, immunization records? In elementary school, you need those. Not so much as you go higher on, but in preparation for a teenager going to college, there are certain documents that they want. They want that record of that test they took, the scores. They're getting ready to apply for scholarships. It's a whole process. But
Yeah,
if you help them maintain the records, doesn't always have to be you teaching them to maintain those records. You're responsible for this. They're going to ask you for X, Y, and Z. Let's make sure it's in a binder. Let's make sure you can get your hands on it. Um, I told my daughter and son when they were going to college, make sure you track all the classes you took compared to this syllabus that they gave you, because because you get ready to graduate and they'll say, "Oh no, you forgot this." But if you tracked everything, you know where you are. Um,
that's a good point.
yes, a pre-retirement checklist, which is very important. Team Childs, do you have all? Can you track? So I was a federal employee. Federal employees seem to know how much leave we have, how much we got for retirement. But the same applies in any industry. When you enter the workplace, that's why I said Social Security sends out a yearly statement of how many quarters you've paid in. So you maintain that, but you also look at what's happening in the place that you worked. What documents do you need as you're preparing to retire? Um, we had to show certification of our marriage license. We had to have a certified marriage license. So because my husband and I were on each other's insurance when we got ready to retire. Who knew that our retirement office told us afterwards, as you're applying. So find out from the retirement office what you will need in preparation of retirement so that you can get those documents together. Um,
Mhm.
and I will say this, if there's anyone that's using email or any kind of email on their jobs and they're getting ready to leave it, and you happen to put I put stored my contacts on here, clean it up, because you'll be looking for something that you left at that particular work site on their email. It happens. You might have sent an email to someone. Just go through those things and make sure you get all your information. Sometimes we leave information in different places and don't realize it till we need it.
That's true. That's true. Because I remember something I came up. I don't even remember exactly what it was, but I had to show proof that I was married and that my husband had passed away.
Mm-hmm.
They needed both.
Yep.
But I can't remember what it was. So it is important that we have all those things in one place. Now, something that anyone that is retiring or have
Hmm.
retired, it's important that your Social Security, there's a place in there you can go and put somebody down just in case something happens to you so they can manage your money. So if
Hmm.
you have not done that, I would recommend that you take care of that so that you'll have somebody that's already in place, because when it comes to those probates and when it comes to
Hmm.
they want to take things and put in your state that they
Yep.
love to say, all this will help prevent a lot of those things, and you can still manage and maintain and take care for that person as well. So go on to your Social Security and go to the bottom, and I forgot what it's called on there, but make sure that it's called I forgot, but it'll say on there, it'll say for someone else to, if someone else needs to take care of you, and you sign that and you make sure that that's in your file so that there are no complications when it comes time to assisting someone with their
And
social security.
that's real important to know. And it's I'll have to look that up. One thing, Team Child's asked about hello, Team Child's, about a pre-retirement checklist. I will have to look up one. I'm sure there are plenty out there, but those are just some what I shared earlier were some basic things that came to mind. Also, yeah, who are your beneficiaries
Right,
on all of your paperwork?
right,
um, in your place of employment. So many times people do not change their beneficiaries. They start off, um, well, generations after us aren't doing this as much as we some of us have been on a position in positions, years. But who are your beneficiaries? Something may change in life, and that it may be that you need to go back and look at your beneficiaries. So one of the key checklists on the retirement checklist is make sure you know who your beneficiaries, update it if it's out of date. And again, make sure you have a copy, make sure when it is filed that you have proof that that was filed. Because there are so many times that someone gets divorced or something happens. I've worked in law enforcement, and the law enforcement officer may have put the first wife, and now they're on their third wife, and
wow,
something happened, and the
that happens a
beneficiary,
lot.
yeah, and the beneficiary is listed as the first wife.
Right,
Um, and I
some
won't say it's just mostly men. I'll say, it can happen both ways. So that is just very key. So when you were talking about what do we need, I would say go look at your beneficiary list. Have you put your children down? Did you have additional children? You
yeah,
might have just had your first child listed. So now you want to make sure that your wishes are met, that if
yeah.
something happens, that information is up to date.
And that's true. I know somebody that ended up with nothing because the
Hmm.
name wasn't changed,
Hmm.
and the first wife got everything.
Hmm. It happens a lot. It
Mhm.
really happens a lot. So
And they're
as we
not
go into,
sharing.
yeah,
They're
as
not
we go
sharing.
into, no, they're not going to share. As we, no, they're not going to share. It can. So the idea is to be not cause, if at all possible, to make it easier for your loved ones. Now, we're
Right.
talking about, what happens after. But as you're living, as you're doing these things, put things in place, talk about them when you feel appropriate. But it's more like protecting your own, what belongs to you. You look at it as a protection of what belongs to you. You've worked hard, you've done certain things in your life, and we're living, but we have to, and again, I said in the beginning, I am still a work in progress as far as organizing and putting things in place, but it's the mindset. We can spend hours on what I'm going to wear, where I'm going to shop, this is the latest shoe. let's take time to do what's important. God gives us wisdom. Um, he wants us to set things in order. Um, he asks us to do things in decency and order. So making sure that we operate in that manner with our loved one in our homes will go so much further.
Yeah, that's good. And with that wisdom comes knowledge and understanding.
Yes.
When you
No.
have the knowledge, then you understand what you need to do.
Hmm.
So you are held accountable for what you hear today because now you heard it. It's your responsibility to put things in order. Thank you so much. My daughter, I think I told you this last time.
Hmm.
Uh, I had a conversation with my two daughters, and I told them that Ashley, which is the oldest,
Hmm.
is one that would handle everything.
Yes.
In other words, what I was telling them, I said, no fighting about this.
Hmm.
And my youngest got mad because I made her the head person. So she didn't speak to me for a couple of days. How could you do that? I can't believe it. I was like, first of all, at my funeral, the bill won't be paid and you'll be walking in with your new Louis. So
Oh.
no, we're not doing that, you know. And she was hot. I can't believe you said that. But I said, oh, Ashley's the oldest, so you two work together. It's not that I'm making anybody more responsible. Both of you are responsible for what happens, but she will have the say because she is the oldest. So she was hot. She was hot with me, but she's all right now. But I was just thinking about that, even having that conversation with your children.
Yeah.
They're going to have a moment.
Gonna have a moment,
They
but
might
it's
have a
also,
moment.
yeah, but it's what are you doing for yourself as well? As we're talking to our children, what do you all have in order? What have you
Right.
done? Do you know where all your information is? So that we're sharing, make having an awareness that it's important to have certain things. You know, it's not. I know we're talking about when someone passes, but as we're living, what are we maintaining? What are we keeping in order? How are we managing our household so that we can, at a moment's notice, uh, put put our hands on something? Because you never know when you're going to need something. You're getting ready to go travel. Oh, I want to go on this trip across the country. I mean, to another country, and your passport is out of date.
I,
Uh,
I
you
know I
should,
need to renew mine. Mine is
yeah,
out.
renew it when it's time to renew it. It'll
Right.
save you maybe some time, but you've already paid for the trip and you're scrambling around because people do that. Then they pay that extra fee, $75 to have a special.
And it's out. The cost is so much more now. I was like,
Yeah.
that's what it costs to get your pass. Wow.
Hmm. Yep. So if we can do it earlier, it saves stress and time for everybody.
And the passports, they're backed up now.
Yes.
So you
Yeah.
really need to because you don't want to be down to the wire because they've
Mm-mm.
changed things so much.
So
And
often.
your plane be taking off and you standing back sad and upset because you weren't prepared. So
Hmm.
yeah, that's a very important thing as well. So I thank you for coming on and sharing some things with us. And I pray that we will take it to heart, that it's not just something, a good conversation or something to think about. Well, I think we're past the thinking point. I think we need to begin to, as you said, make some things happen and little at a time,
Hmm.
make some things happen. Like I have my medical things all in a folder, but I need to scan them in. So especially when I had the colonoscopy,
Hmm.
all those different things, so that uh, um, they don't have to go through all those papers trying to see what's what. That putting the birth certificate and all that on a scanning all those things.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna start doing that because it's time.
Yeah.
It's time, and it's like it's easy to say, "Well, I don't know when I'm gonna have time to do it," and never get it done. It's an easy
Sometimes,
thing to
yeah,
do.
sometimes you could be, just, okay, let me just work on this little part right here, get that done, and then work on another. So it's all about your life changing, life changing style of living that we just change the focus, um, redirect for a moment so that we are getting things in order, things in order for ourselves.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and also showing and demonstrating those to our family so that they will do that as well.
Same thing. Yeah.
Mhm.
Very important, very important. And yeah, and for the family tree, like you said, they'll have a lot of history that they won't have
Yeah.
if if sometimes we find history because we're looking for something else and say, oh, man, I was looking for this. Now I find it, that
Yeah.
type of thing. And we don't want it to be that way. So I love each and every one of you. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to be here. I hope that something was said that will make you do what you need to do to get on things organized, not just for something happened to you, just so you'll have it. Get your medications in order, get your checkups, all that, and put it in a report. My uncle, he's passed away now, but everything he had it. We wasn't using computers like that then, but he had a the what's the notebooks called? The
Oh,
notebook,
the journals,
the
the
composition,
composition books.
and everything was in that book. Everything was
Wow.
orderly. Everything he had, you knew where to find things, where things were, and he was very precise about things like that.
Does anyone
So
still have that?
probably his daughter, yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Mhm.
his daughter does, yeah. So listen, I'll be back on Thursday with Doctor, but she is a doctor, but Pastor Darlene, and she's going to be talking to the care givers, care, yeah, and helping you through the holiday season and making sure you're taking care of yourself. I have so many friends that I want to bring together to talk on that topic. Renee and Doreen. There's so many that uh, can,
That's an important topic.
yeah.
It's definitely an important topic.
So in the new year, I want to put together a panel and we just have a discussion about that to help other people because you never know when you might become one. You
Hmm.
never know when you have to become one. You might think you'll never be one,
But you never know.
but you
In some capacity, either you may be one or assist someone that is a
is one.
caregiver.
Yeah.
Um, and because of just the way life happens, in some manner, it could be relative, a neighbor. Um,
Yes.
but yeah,
Yeah.
it's important.
It
Hmm.
is. So we love you. Have an amazing holiday. Thank you so much, Leslie. I love you so much. I
I
keep
love
saying
you
I'm gonna
too.
be like Leslie when I grow up. She's so polite, she's so nice, and she's so caring. I'm like, I want to be like Leslie when I grow up one day. So y'all just look forward to the new Leslie, okay?
I appreciate you and thank you so much for having me. Thank you,
Oh, it was
everybody
a
that joined.
pleasure. Yeah.
And I hope that you got something out of it.
Yes. Yep. Yep. I know I did. So thank you. And until the next time, I love you. We love you.
I love
But
you.
most of all, he loves you more. We can never love you like he can. So always look to him, the author and finisher of your faith. Till we meet again, have a great day.
Amen. Thank you.